Man, oh man, do we have some stuff to talk about today, Team SDC. There were 11 games last night, and you know whenever there are that many games played, that it was probably a good day. And I'm not even gonna hold y'all up. Some pretty interesting things happened in those games last night, including in my mind was one of the best games of the season so far. And on top of that, the story, quotation marks around story, came out last night saying that LeBron wants to go all in for Melo, even if that means trading Kevin Love for him. So I suggest y'all get real comfortable wherever y'all at and get ready to get these buckets. Lego. I'm gonna come right out and say it. This is completely false. Only reason I'm even covering this is because of all the requests I got DM'd on either Twitter and Instagram asking me what I thought about this. Now, if this story is true, then that means Marcelo Huertas is the greatest player known to man. Alright, so like I said in the intro, a report, quotation marks around report, came out claiming that LeBron is willing to do anything to bring Melo to Cleveland, even if that means trading Kevin Love. Now that has honestly got to be single-handedly the dumbest report I ever did see, and here's why. The most obvious reason why is because if the Cavs were to trade Love for Melo, it would not make them better whatsoever. It would make them worse. Kevin Love is just now getting used to his role in Cleveland. In his first 2 years there, he was kind of the scapegoat for whenever they would lose. People were saying, oh, he was never a superstar, he was just a good player on a bad team back in Minnesota, stuff like that, without realizing that it's going to take a guy that was used to having the ball in his hands all the time, a period of adjustment to get used to being the third option on offense. However, now that he's a bit more accustomed to his role, he's having his best year so far as a Cavalier, averaging 20 points and 11 rebounds per game. Now imagine you trade for Melo by giving up Love. You have to go to a guy who throughout his entire 13-year career has known nothing except for isolation basketball and say, hey, we're gonna need you to play within our offense and to be the third option. That has absolute disaster written all over it. And I think Antonio Daniels' ankles have a better chance at coming back from whatever oblivion AI sent them to before that goes smoothly. And that's no knock on Carmelo at all. You could take a bunch of guys in the league that are used to being the #1 option and ask them to become the #3, and they're gonna struggle a bit. So that's one reason. Another one is that remember when those reports, once again quotation marks around reports, came out that the Cavs rejected the Knicks' offer of Carmelo for Love? Well, if that's true, which I'm sure it has more truth to it than this one, then why the sudden change of heart for LeBron? I can guarantee you that if the Knicks called with a trade offer like that the Cavs front office doesn't just say no. Now in the back of their minds, I'm sure they're like, why on earth would we ever do that? But before they laugh and hang up, they run it by LeBron first. And he tells them, why are you wasting my time even me asking a stupid question like, do I want to trade Love for Carmelo? Hang up on them fools. So that conversation happens, and now all of a sudden you're trying to tell me that LeBron is willing to do whatever it takes to acquire Melo, even if it means trading Love. Do you think we're stupid, Frank Isola? That's who wrote the article, by the way, Frank Isola. He's a writer for New York, cough cough, hint hint, Daily News. In other words, this article was merely a lie so we could get the people of New York or any other gullible NBA fans to read it. That's all there is to it, and that's all I really want to say about it.
Tomorrow.
Well, so it turns out that thing I just said was pretty accurate. See, I wrote down all my thoughts on the matter last night, and I woke up this morning to LeBron James reporting on the matter, and he said, quote, yeah, I saw it and heard about it. It's trash. And the guy who wrote it is trash too, for writing that. LeBron high-key becoming a savage in front of the media. But now that LeBron basically confirmed that it was false, let's just move on to everything else that happened from last night. This was, in my opinion, one of the best games of the season so far, especially when it comes to East vs East games that have happened so far this year, except maybe the Hawks vs Knicks quadruple overtime game. Anyways, if you're a Wizards fan, I'm gonna need y'all to stand up and represent your team down in the comment section below, because you guys should be extremely proud of your team for that effort they gave last night. I mean, you guys were right there the entire game, and honestly, I really hope I get to see a Wizards and Cavs series in the playoffs, if it could be anything close to how intense that game was. The Cavs won in overtime 140 to 135, but it took Cleveland making clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot to finally beat Washington and break their 16-game home winning streak. The final 5 minutes of that game was just threes everywhere. Beal was hot, LeBron was hot, Love was hot, Otto Porter was hot, but it was the last three by LeBron on the full court inbound pass by Kevin Love that did it. The man caught the pass, backed up to the 3-point line and hit a turnaround fading three to tie the game with under a second left. What? That has to be one of the toughest clutch shots I have ever seen. Then Kyrie in overtime hits what was basically the exact shot he hit over Curry in game 7. And like I said, the Cavs wound up with the win after being forced into the corner by the Washington Wizards. LeBron James set a career high in assists with 17 to go along with 32 points. Kevin Love recorded 39 points and 12 rebounds, and Kyrie was there when Cleveland needed him and finished with 23 points. For the Wizards, Bradley Beal tied his career high with 41 points and also had 8 assists. John Wall had 22 points and 12 assists, and Otto Porter Jr. continues to be the best 3-point shooter in the NBA as he tallied 25 points on 5 of 7 shooting from distance. And the Wizards, I believe, have definitely earned the respect of the Cavs after that one. What a game. The Heat hang on to win their 11th in a row in a narrow 115-113 victory over the Timberwolves. Goran Dragic set a career high in threes made with 7 and had 33 points and 9 assists on the night. Whiteside had 19 points and 13 rebounds, and Waiters wasn't as productive on the offensive end, but he made up for it with some great defense. 2 steals and 2 blocks for Waiters. Karl Anthony Towns delivered another monster game for Minnesota though, as he scores 35. Ricky Rubio also has 14 points and 13 assists for the Wolves. I'd imagine that it would be hard to be any happier than Kyle Lowry was last night at the sight of DeMar DeRozan lacing up again. Lowry was probably shedding tears of joy that he didn't have to try and single-handedly carry the Raptors anymore, and DeMar DeRozan came back like he never left. Same old DeMar, 31 points for him, 24 points and 8 assists for Lowry, and 21 points and 12 rebounds for Jonas as the Raptors get the 118-109 win over the Clippers. Blake Griffin did record his first triple-double since 2014 though. 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists for Griffin. We all remember what happened the last time these two teams played. And well, this time, you know, the refs just don't like you, DeMarcus. Alright, so basically what happened this time, in the final seconds of the game, Wade gets a steal. Sound familiar? Except this time when the whistle actually should have blown, it didn't. Wade got the steal in the inbound pass by grabbing DeMarcus Cousins' jersey to hold him back. Refs didn't call it, Wade gets the easy basket, and DeMarcus gets his second tech and gets ejected with 1 second to go in the game. Sacramento fans must be mentally tough to have this type of stuff happen to them all the time. But anyways, it was the Bulls who got the win 112-107 without Jimmy Butler. Wade with 31 points and Michael Carter Williams with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. So the Lakers got another win. Remember back when they were like 10-10 to start the season? As this should be within the protected top 5. 121-107 is your final score. Lou Williams with 22 off the bench, and Brandon Ingram got the start at 14 points and 7 rebounds. Derrick Rose returned for New York but didn't really do anything at all last night. 5 points and 3 assists in 32 minutes of action. Carmelo Anthony scored 26. The East is becoming more and more interesting every single day as teams keep heating up. First it was Miami out of nowhere. Washington is playing extremely well, and so are the Pacers. They got their 8th straight win with a narrow 93-90 victory over the Thunder. Russell Westbrook with a monster game of 27 points, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists, but it obviously just wasn't enough. Paul George led the way with Indy with 21 points and 8 rebounds. Speaking of rebounds, how often does a team get demolished on the glass and still come away with a W? The Thunder won the Battle of the Glass last night 61-37, but still lost the game. Like, how does that work? The Pistons got the win over the unbeatless Sixers with a balanced scoring effort last night. Now, who would have thought that a little ball movement would go a long way? Anyways, 113-96 is the final score, and like I said, it was a balanced scoring effort from the Pistons as all 5 starters scored in double figures, led by Andre Drummond in his 16 points and 17 rebounds. The Mavericks lost their first game in the era of Yogi, as the whole team really couldn't get anything going. Yogi Ferrell had 15 points and 5 assists. However, Nikola Jokic is a 6'10", 250-pound point guard. He was out there dropping dimes yesterday. He finished with 13 points on 5 of 9 shooting and 9 assists. Will the Thrill Barton was on fire for Denver though, as he scored 31 points and was 5 of 7 from 3 to go along with 8 rebounds and 5 assists. Why does it seem like the Hawks never lose a close game? I mean, when they lose, they lose. The Jazz beat them 120-95 last night, and I don't know what to think about Atlanta. Sometimes they'll play extremely well, and then other times it's like this. Gordon Hayward led the way for Utah though with 30 points and 7 rebounds and 5 assists, and George Hill had 22 points and 8 assists. Devin Booker's streak of 20-point games ends at 16 as he was ice cold from the floor yesterday, finishing with 14 points on 5 of 20 shooting. And the Pelicans, of course, got the win 111-106. Anthony Davis, 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 blocks, and Jrue Holiday at 30 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks. This is what you kind of expect when these two teams meet up. Not the most entertaining game. The Grizzlies get the win 89-74, and I need to be on whatever workout regimen Vince Carter is on, because to go out there as a shooting guard and get 4 blocks at the age of 40, that is insane. Yo Vince, in your last year, you gotta do the dunk contest one last time. Use whatever you got left in your knees and just come back one more time. 15 points each for Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph, and for the Spurs, Kawhi Leonard set out with a sore left quad. And that about wraps up all the action for the day 105 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. And now it's time to get into the player of the day. Yesterday, you guys selected Russell Westbrook and his 42 points and 8 assists as your player of the day. And here are today's nominees. You have LeBron James and his 32 points and career high 17 assists. Goran Dragic and his 33 points, including career high 7 made threes and 9 assists. Anthony Davis with his 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Or Kevin, I'm not being traded for Carmelo Anthony Love's 39 points and 12 rebounds. As always, you guys can go vote for the player of the day right now on the Amino Hardwood NBA app. The link to the poll will be in the description box below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like on it if you did, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace.